Yes, yes, yo, to the beat, yo. I just timed out because I'm just getting things set up here, right? Playing the game, the great game of Pete Limit EBE. Put limit Omaha, that means basically. And we're gonna go through some concepts today about bet sizing, basically. So that should be interesting. Still trying to get things set up right now. I've got my TV on as well. I mean, I feel like compelled to bluff this guy, bluffing twice. He just let me have it easily there. Right, here I am. Here I am. So we're going to talk about bet sizing today. This is a bit bad turn card for me, but let's go through a bet sizing on the river here. Example number one. Could be winning here, but I don't really want him to bet like a big amount, so I'm just betting 2 big blinds on the river. And he's snap calling me with a jack, you know. It's obviously super exploitable because I'm just blocker betting the river, but I'm playing 20 PLO, right? And when you're playing 20 PLO, the beauty of it is you can do exploitable things and it doesn't actually matter. However, it is good to be somewhat balanced. So in PLO and in any kind of game, right? I'm a bit small on the flop here because we've got obviously more money in stacks, right? If he raises here, it'd be interesting. Although his stats show him as pretty passive, because I don't think he'd raise with an overpair. So he could be raising with some wrap draws basically. But however, let me just read his notes because he looks super passive, man. Oh well. Only raises the nuts post flop. So it's kind of gross because we block the 4-5, like ace 4-5, 4-5-6. So he probably just has pocket nines. But I mean, or pocket threes, pocket deuces. But that's such a small part of his range. Let's just see if our read is right, you know. That is 9-3. I mean, that's obviously a good hand. He doesn't have to have a set because the board's so dry. 9-3, right? I think we can fold there because our read is that he's super tight, but especially because he didn't bet on the jack-jack. Like jack-jack, 3 diamond, 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 and 3-bet pot. He just like check folded as well. So I think that's most probably a fold there, but I just wanted to see what he had. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he could have 4-5, like ace 4-5, 4-5-6, and then we're in kind of good shape because we blocked the a lot of the 5s. But yeah, because we block it, it just increases the chance that he has pocket 9s, pocket 3s, or 9-3 basically. So he has to have 1 or 4 hands, a set, which is 3 hands, and then 9-3. I don't even think he raises with 9 deuce. The thing is, it's such a small percentage of hands, but it's just a heavily weighted range. Like they're going to have it so often. I'm just going to fold here with my weak hand. But yeah, so we're going to talk about bet sizings, right? However, I did bet small on the flop as well. I only bet like a 3rd pot. to induce some bluffs as well, so you can have some bluffs in there. But the thing is, people aren't really adjusting that well. I was going to bet a turn, but there's actually no need to bet a turn. I was going to bet really small and try and get called by like a worse pair. I get called by kings, but I'm just trying to think outside the box, right? I mean, there's a chance that we're losing there, obviously, but we were betting such a small amount, and it just makes us harder to play against. I feel like I'm just going to bluff here. He's just checking a lot. He's 3-betting and then just giving up too much. So it's kind of like you need to just take the pot away from him. Yeah, this is a weak hand to call a 3-bet, but because he's folding so much, I'm just going to bet here and then bet the river. He shouldn't have too many. This is a great river to bluff. He can't have too many straights in his. Yeah. He can't have too many straights in his 3-betting range. It's just a must bluff river there. So basically, yeah, the pot size, right? At any point, you can bet between one big blind and the pot size, right? In pot limit MR. And there's like a bracket of every kind of bet size triggers a reaction, right? So like if you're betting like a quarter pot, it will obviously have a different reaction. Have a different result to when you're betting 3/4 or full pot, right? I'm just going to lead out and see how he's reacting to my lead outs. Well, that isn't really what I wanted to happen. We'll PL1. I mean, he's just so tight, you know? I might actually just fold here. It's kind of hard to fold because we have the backdoor diamond draw. It's gone for full pot, huh? I'm actually going to fold. Super nitty. It's super nitty. But I'm fine to do it because I just think this guy's going to give us the pot a lot of the times anyway. We don't need to. I mean, his aggression factor is like 0.8 over 500 hands. He's donked 0%. He's check raised 6% basically on the flop. So it just shows very low aggression. He's 3-betting nearly 20% of his hands, which is on the higher side. But then he's just letting me have. He's letting me have it. So I'm just gonna go for like a smaller raise here. You don't need to like raise bigger. I want to keep his overpairs in there. Like if he just has a dry overpair, he has very few outs against me. And if he's bluffing here just because he has nothing and it's like a good card to rep, it keeps him. Obviously you don't like this, but what am I gonna do, right? Yeah, of course. Chopping it until he hits the 9. You got to win those ones, guys, or at least split the pot. So like he's only raising me there once he has a 5 or better, but betting the river here. We do have a straight. Wow, really? I'm just gonna fold. We obviously value bet the river, but the guy's only raising the nuts, man. You can go ahead and value bet, like, you know, all your bottom straights and stuff. If I check there, I don't think he's the guy to bluff, right? If he has a flush draw or anything. And even if I bet, I don't think he's going to raise me with a flush draw. So, yeah, I really put him on 7, 8, 9. Probably with diamonds, or just 8, 9 with diamonds. Makes a lot of sense, but you can't just be afraid to like value bet the third nuts on the river. Like, you have to go ahead and do it, right? I'm going to check back on the river here. Obviously he turned. So he turned a set and rivered a straight, and he's like still not value betting. So super passive. It shouldn't be too hard to beat this kind of opponent. Just need to like hold up when you're supposed to be splitting the pot, and you know, not let them get there too often. I'm going to check here just because we have like too many hands. I mean, we have everything, so it's very hard to get value. I'd rather just have one king on the flop, obviously. But what are you going to do? We're going for a smaller bet here. We're just snap folding. Against people that snap fold, you want to obviously use smaller bets because you know, they can bottom of our range here. We have blockers to the 6, but I don't expect him to fold a queen. But try anyway. I wouldn't fold a queen probably in that spot, but because he's so passive, it's worth trying it out. Going to lead 10. He's just got snap fold on, right? So he's literally just giving up. I don't think he's ever going to make a play. Like, it's just so simple. Got to grind these people down. They're just going to make more mistakes than you, right? We just want to be doing a lot of one and dones against this guy, which means, you know, we're just going to be bluffing once a lot of the time. Do I value bet the river? I think I have to, right? Definitely have to, because I can get called by any... I got the nut straight. Very hard for him to have full house. Unless it's 8-10 or Queen 10. Queen 10 is quite likely. Well, more likely, but I'm getting called by every trips here, I think. So I have to value bet the nut straight, obviously. I mean, he could just have busted spades, and he's never gonna like just raise me with that. So it's obviously a value bet on the river. There's no doubt about that. And like, I think he's gonna bluff this card a lot. I don't think he bluffs that much, but if I had something else to go along with it, I'd probably call. But I don't think he's that. I don't think he's aggressive enough for me to call with that second pair there. I'll call against most people, but. So yeah, if he's got snap fold on, obviously we want to be betting smaller when we have air against him. Value bet the turn, obviously. Top and bottom. I check to him and he just folds. Interesting strategy. So super like ABC, just folding everything to him when he shows aggression. Other than that, we'll just be stealing the pots, you know, and we'll be stealing a lot of the pots if that's the case. But yeah, I want to go back to the topic anyway. Now I've got the read on the opponent and our strategy against him, you know. We want to go, we talk about the bet sizings. Is that different bet sizes trigger different reactions, right? I do like a bluff here, but I think you can have an ace a lot, but you could also have a flush draw. So yeah. So I see, especially at low stakes, right, people get too excited when they have a big hand and they just pot raise. Their only size is pot raise, and they're only doing it with like obviously just super strong hands and the super strong draws. So they're so unbalanced. I'm just gonna fold here, right? Guy never bluffs. The guy never bluffs. They're so unbalanced. So by putting in smaller bet sizes, right, you can just mess around. Like, I'm gonna bet small here, 1/3 pot. It leaves us more money behind, and increases, obviously, his calling frequency, which means he's calling with weaker hands on the turn, which just means he doesn't have to have a spade draw, you know. Just because I bet a third pot, you know, it doesn't automatically have to have a flush draw. He's getting such a good price. You're keeping hands in there, and you can bluff them on the river with a bigger bet, you know. Bet turn, probably the guy just to fold an ace here. Yeah, so you can bet like a third pot in 3-bet pots, and you can just do it with almost all of your range because you're betting so small, right? So when you just completely whiff the flop, you can just bet third pot, especially against people that fold a lot. So I have to bluff this guy. I've got no blockers though, but this guy folds so much in 3-bet pots. Yeah, he's just letting me have every pot in 3-bet pots. So I'm 3-bet here. Let's see if we can. I'm just gonna bet a third pot. Like I said, it goes for the raise, huh? But obviously we've lost a lot less than instead of betting 3/4 pot. We still have a wrap, but this is the kind of guy where when I'm betting a third pot, I don't think it matters about the size. In terms of him raising, he's still only raising with, I think here, like the king high flush, and like that's probably it. King high flush, probably it. Maybe the queen high flush, and maybe a slow played set of aces. Not a very good river card. What do we get called by? I can't even see us value betting this river card. If he has 3-5, he raises the turn. If he has 7-8-9, he's not calling a single bet. If he has a set of deuces, 10s or 6s, probably check raising the flop. I don't see how we can value bet the river. Yeah, makes sense that he's got us beat. Makes sense. If there was any other kind of hands he could have had there, then I would like to value bet small. But I just can't see how we can value bet there. And this is obviously a good time to bet. Yeah, he's can go ahead and 3-bet all the hands he likes in the world. But it's clear to see that I'm just going to be stealing a lot of pots back off him. When he just is 3-betting and then just check folding like 53% of the time in 3-bet pots. Once he checks, he just check folds. Which is quite a lot. And we do have... I'm actually going to lead the turn here. Well, I've turned the second set. And we can value bet the river. I see people just checking the turn when they turn a set. Like, he doesn't have to have a flush. Like, don't be so scared, guys. You know, you just have to get it in there. It turns out he had a king queen 3. So he was actually in very bad shape. But it was a good river card for us. But yeah, against that hand, he had 5% equity to win. But he just checks that hand back, obviously. He doesn't. We have a 9 of clubs as well, you know. So we led here on the flop. Going to lead 2/3 pot on the turn. But yeah, you want to put yourself in awkward situations, because if you're putting yourself in an awkward situation, then chances are you're definitely putting your opponent in an awkward situation. I'm going to value bet a third pot here, just to see. I'm seeing how he reacts when, you know, I'm betting a third pot on. It's hard for me to have a flush there once. He 3-bets, and then he checks, I check back, he checks turn, I just stab like a third of the pot. Like, I don't have to have a flush, right? So I'm just seeing if he's snap folding all hands that isn't a flush. Then I bet a third pot, top pair and a gut shot. I don't love the raise. It's a pot size raise, right? I am just going to fold here. We do have an 8, which is good for us. A 10 may or may not be good for us. Problem is, a lot of my turn cards complete a straight, and there's a flush draw on the board. So I'm probably just going to fold. His aggression is too low to worry about that. very weak call, I think, but we'll go ahead. So yeah, I'm just value betting, not value betting, I'm just betting a third pot there in position with a pair of twos on king 9-3, heart, heart, heart. And he's just going to let me have it, right? I'm going to go for a check raise here. No. He's got snap fold on, so what I'm going to do here is give him a chance to bluff and see if he would ever bluff with a hand that's nothing. Will he bluff the river with nothing? No, he's got check fold on, you see. I know I'm not getting any value there, right? Like, but I'm giving him a chance to get out of his skin and go for a bluff. Like, I want to see if he would ever bluff with no equity. Like, I already know he won't, but yeah, he had a pair of tens, so he had a top pair on the turn, but he's just not the kind of guy to bluff. I'm actually not going to bluff this one. I've pushed my luck a bit. I've got away with it every time, but yeah, you got to choose your timings wisely. I don't think that one's for us, you know. I'm going to 3-bet the kings. And we're just going to bet small here. Hope not to get raised. If we get raised again, right, I'm calling this time. I'm just going to go for a check raise here because we have the queen, right? Obviously winning here. Trying to think what kind of hands. Obviously now that we have a king, he doesn't have queen 10. And now that we blocked the king, it's hard for him to have a king jack. So, but I also have a 9, so it's a bit less likely he has jack 9. I could just have a busted draw, I guess. I'm actually going to bet full pot because it's kind of hard for him to have a hand that can call me anyway. I'm just going on the fact that he might have like pocket jacks or pocket 9s. Pocket jacks is, I guess, more likely because we block a king and a 9. So I think he either has jacks or a busted draw, right? I'm gonna bet small here. That's a good river card. I'm gonna bet actually 3/4 pot because I think I'm getting snap called by every ace. There's no need to. I don't love that he actually bets here. What I want to do is bet a third pot here to stop me getting bluffed bigger on the river. Although I don't think he's the kind of guy to bluff me. We actually get value from queen high flush draw and pair of 8s. Yeah, it's a nice opportunity there to bet on the turn because he's not the kind of guy that's going to raise me with nothing, right? If I bet the turn and he like calls and then just pots the river, I can fold. If he check raises the turn, I can probably fold. Yeah, he's got check fold on again. I mean, he could have 4-6, I guess. Try and get called by a straight. Snap called. Yep. He did have 4-6. Man, my reads are too good. So he loses to 6-9 and a flush draw, right? Yeah, a flush, should I say. So in that situation, I use the small sizing because I'm pretty sure he has a weak straight. Let me backdoor the flush here. Let's go for a third pot bet again. Get some value from a king, maybe ace jack. It just makes you a lot harder to play against when you're increasing the frequency of your bets. And the thing is, a lot of players just only have like one bet size, like 3/4 pot or pot. Or especially on the river, right? On the river, like people are potting it with such a. I'm gonna go with a third bet here, just to make me tougher to play against, right? We have a pair of 7s, which may or may not be winning there. But once you just have a much bigger river betting range, you become a lot tougher to play against, right? Really, bro? Well, because he has a 6% check raise range, right? Over 550 hands on the flop. You can have 3-5 a lot. You can have like 5, 7, 8, 9 with clubs. We just fold. It's easy to fold here. I mean, we could be winning, but there's just no need to. When he's showing aggression, there's just no need to play with marginal hands because he's making so many mistakes. We'll just go for a call here. We pick up a gut shot. Against the pot size bets, I'm going to fold. He's slowed down on his 3-betting for a bit. I've got double gut shot here. I'm probably not folding this hand, so I'm just going to raise and get it in. Because I've got overpay on a double gut shot, certainly. I should have chosen a different raise size there. I should have just slowed down a little bit in my decision. He's going to check raise, right? No. Oh, yeah, I should have raised smaller. Because I want to be increasing my frequency when doing stuff, right? I go for a check raise with the set, obviously. We're going to check raise small. Just, well, not small, but 3 times. I've been doing a lot of min raising as well in 3-bet pots. 3-bet pots. And I bet small here, because I've got like the, well, you can see, I've got such a strong hand, I want to force him to continue with such a weak range. And if he's just going to be folding to my 1/3 bet sizes, then obviously it's super exploitable. I tried it here to bet 1/3 pot, but didn't quite work this time. It's because it's a single raised pot. He has a flush draw, but if he has no flush draw there, maybe he's even just folding pair of 9s there. So. Bet 1/3 pot. And we could go for check raise here. Let me just think. So 6-8, Queen 7. Maybe 3-6. He'd look 3-6, 6-8. Yeah. Get away cheaply from it. That's the beauty of it. I know we do induce more bluffs against us when we're betting so small. But it just helps you have more control of the pot. As long as you're doing it, obviously, with your super strong hands and your weaker hands. I think the principle is people are just too, like, this is a prime example, like, I've been betting, you know, 2/3, 3/4 pot, whatever, in single raise pot. Now I've got blockers, people just pot it because they've got oh, sorry, I thought I had Jack 996, so I've got Jack 669. But yeah, anyway, if I did have Jack 996, I see people just potting it because they have the 9s, and it's like, against an astute player who's actually paying attention, like, it's quite easy to recognise that. We're going to go for check raise. How often is he c-betting? Only 28% of the time in this session. So let's go for a donk. Just snap folding. So yeah. I think the moral of the story is, you know, there's infinite decisions available in your bet sizing, and this is just in PLO. Well, in no limit, there's infinite amounts, right? Well, I mean, way more because it's no limit, but there's still a huge amount of options available in Full Limit Omaha. Do I want to bluff here? I mean, I'll go with it. A third pot size bet, right? If he raises me, probably just folding. But yeah, when we have queen high on king 3-3, it's great to get a fold. And if he does have aces, I don't think he's even just gonna check raise me there. Probably see betting the flop. So he's playing super like ABC. I'm gonna check back this time. You've got to let him have some of them. I think if I just c-bet every single time in the 3-bet pot, it's the... I mean, if I, if I bet in position when he checks, every single 3-bet pot, I think he's just going to go ballistic and start adapting. But we are at the bottom of our range. We have a pair of 4s, right? Problem is, you could actually have a flush draw. There's no need. Yeah. I'm gonna say it. If he has the flush draw on the turn, it's a good chance it's the ace-high flush draw, although we do block it. The king. You don't need to try to win every single pot against people that are just making mistakes. He says as he bets the turn, but it's fine. He has a flush, he's just not betting the flop. Super passive. So king of clubs, I was going to say I could go for a 3-barrel, but first of all, in heads up, and probably even in a lot of 6-max games, people don't like to fold flushes, right? They really don't. So, at low stakes anyway, I think even at a higher stakes somewhat. So the ace-high and king-high blocker aren't actually that useful. I mean, when you're playing against super tight people, obviously it works, right? But this guy is quite tight, so maybe it would work against him, but I'm telling you, man, recently, it's just not. They don't fold even 6-high flushes against three barrels. I just want to fold here, man. We've got hardly any way to improve, right? We've got backdoor flush draws, but he's only c-betting like a quarter of his hands. There's just no need. You can see how I'm going to be making money off the guy, right? I mean, he got ahead in the beginning because it should have been a split pot and he got there, right? So we donk with bottom pair and he just pot raises us, so he's going to fold. If he starts increasing his frequency where he's raising me on the flop and turn, then obviously I'm going to start playing back, but a lot of the adjustments, well, all the adjustments in poker come from the frequencies or in which people are doing things. So if you're in tune with their frequencies, I'm pretty good at noticing the frequencies in which people are doing things. It obviously helps to have a HUD as well, but in heads-up PLO, or even in heads-up Hold'em, just any heads-up poker game, HUDs aren't really as important as, just your mindset, your memory. The game flow is probably more important than having a HUD. So he's betting very infrequently and he's only betting pot pretty much post-flop. So I'm going to check back here and bet the turn 1/3 pot. And because we've kept his range wide, we increase. So we've got the nuts on the river, the nuts straight on the river, right? But we can get called by any 2-pair. Obviously he folds quite predictably because we bet so small on the turn. We're keeping his range wide, yeah? We're keeping his range wide. So I should have done another small bet on the river. But I actually went for a little bit bigger size. I do want to mess around a little bit, but like I say, there's not much point. Only because this board doesn't hit him very hard. We've got back, yeah. If I had 6-7 there, would be better play. at 7-9. I don't know why he always 3-bets, because he just lets me have it. I'm betting 1/3 pot. Trying to think if I want to like triple barrel here. I'm just gonna see the river card. I'm actually gonna bet 1/3 pot on the river to get some value with the nut straight, and we get some value. You see, I see people there just checking because they have a straight on a flush board, and then very occasionally some people might just pot the river because they think, oh, I don't think he has a flush, so they just pot the river and then he folds all of his hands. So we get value there where some people might miss value or force him out of the pot. So we got him to call with just a pair of aces. So this hand isn't a 4-bet because we've got the ace and the king of hearts, which isn't great because we block the king of hearts, right? And then we've got 3-4 of spades, which obviously isn't super powerful. Flop bottom pair and an open ender. Bottom pair and a gut shot. We're going to call and hope to see the 5 of spades on the turn. But, we block no diamonds at all, right? So I'm just going to check here and see what he does on the river. I feel like I have to go for a bet on the river because he's just snap checking. We block aces and kings, right? So it's less likely he has them. Obviously, he can have a flush, like, but you've got to make some stabs, right? And I think our hand is fine to do it with. We don't block the diamonds. We don't have a diamond in our hand, right? But we block aces and kings. If he had queens, obviously he's betting the river, right? So he can have a weak flush, or otherwise I think he's folding. However, we do have a pair of 3s, so we actually do have some showdown value with ace 3. So maybe not a necessary bluff, but it's certainly fine to bluff there, I think. And we've got bottom pair, backdoor flush draw. Give up. Wow, please don't fold. We have to 4-bet this hand, right? This hand is too good not to 4-bet. Dude, that is such a bad flop. I'm gonna bet a 3rd pot and just hope he folds. Nah, we just give up, bro. Such a promising hand. But by betting a 3rd pot with all our other hands, right, it means we can most definitely bet a 3rd pot there. And, you know, it doesn't seem so strange. We're certainly balanced in that respect. I'm gonna bet a 3rd pot on the turn with the nut 2 pair. So yeah, I think the theme of the video, the theory, is just to get you thinking about different bet sizes in different spots, right? I'm gonna bet 2/3 pot here. Actually, I'm gonna bet bigger because we need some more protection. I don't know about pot, but I'm just gonna be betting a bit bigger. Hard for him to have 4-5 here, so we're just gonna bet and not fold our hand. Full house is a very nice result. I don't want to put it because it just looks too. Obviously, I'm looking to get called by. We block kings, right? I mean, he could just have a busted flush draw, but if he has aces, he's gonna have a hard time folding. But let's go for a tree bet. Bet 1/3 pot. We're actually gonna go for a check raise here. So give him a chance to bluff. He never bluffs. Bet a 3rd pot on the river, and even get value. See, I see some people there might just check because the 7 gets there against this opponent. It's fine to just bet small, fold to his raise. Super exploitable, right? But guys, this is 20 PLO, right? They don't exploit. And I know checking the turn is not the best play against this player because he's never like bluffing on the turn, even when he has just like nothing at all, like bottom gut shot or bottom straight draw. Like if he has 5-6 somehow on the turn, he's never just bluffing, right? So against him, it's actually not the best play, but it is good to have some strong hands when you know, 3-bet, pre-flop, bet flop, and then check the turn. It's good to have some strength, some good hands in your turn checking range. Yeah, go for a check here. Actually, he's just going to bet small on the turn to stop him from betting bigger on the river. Get some value even from pocket jacks. So against this guy, it's great to be betting small because he's calling with the incorrect range against small bets, right? I mean, it's very unlikely that I'm betting there without an ace or a king, or at least like a straight draw or a flush draw. And against all those hands, he's just got a pair of jacks, and like it's never going to improve really. A pair of jacks there, so it's not the right hand to be calling with. So he's gone back to 3-betting a lot here. We're going to raise this flop. I was going to go for a min raise, but now that he's potted it, I think there's no reason to min raise it because I have very little fold equity. Unfortunately, he has the nut flush draw, but we are ahead currently with the pair of sevens. And it's just like a bet sizing tale. He's only potting it, right? His only bet size is pot, and he's only potting it with the strongest hands that he has there. So flop an open ender. I'm just going to go ahead and bet the river. He's got snap fold on, as we say. So he's 3-bet of very bad aces, and just going to bet a third pot, and just you can even just check fold on this flop, but okay, we get to 4-bet our aces. Very nice flop here. Now bet a 1/3. And now we're just going to shove the turn. Yeah. I think we just shove the turn. Oh yeah. He's just flipped a full house, of course. Well, that's going to happen sometimes. The old 3-bet call with a 10-8-4-5. I think he has ace-king here. We can actually bluff some rivers if we just flat call here. I'm actually going for a pot-sized bet on the river. Get him to fold ace-king. See that, guys? That could be an advanced play. That is an advanced play. I think he has ace-king there. That was actually like one of the better river cards to be bluffing as well. Let's go back to that hand. Yeah, because he c-bets flop with like 10s or jacks, right? And the 6th pairing is like just a great card. How long's the video been going for? 45 minutes, pretty much. So we're just going to lead turn here. Bet 1/3 pot, why not? Bet 2/3 pot. Fold this hand. So I'll just do another 10 minutes here. I've actually got another player playing on my other table, but I think I'll probably just leave that because I'm enjoying just making this video right now. So yeah, the only way that he's won any money off us is obviously when we both got it all in with a 5 and we should be splitting and he hit the river. And then him 3-bet calling 10-8-4-5 and flopping a full house against my overpair, top pair and the flush draw, right? Which obviously never folding, so. there's no need to worry about what happens in these pots, you know. It's all about the pots. It's all about the small and medium-sized pots where you're exploiting and making the money, right? It's not about the pots where you get it all in. So yeah, just try experimenting with different sizings and seeing. I mean, in single raised pots, I'm never like betting. Well, I never say never, but I'm not betting so small in single raised pots because there's already so much money behind anyway. But in 3-bet pots, I'm betting smaller so that you can use the stack sizes more effectively, right? Instead of like just 3-betting and then just betting pot. I mean, it's just then people are just continuing with such a narrow range, and there's just not much skill left in it, to be honest, when there's only like 1 bet left to make. So I'm going for just a bluff on the turn. You've got to bluff sometimes, dudes, but you've got to make sure it makes sense. I was going to say, now it's my turn to flop a full house, but it's in a single raised pot, obviously. Not in a 4-bet pot. But that's life, you know. That's life in the fast lane. Yeah, I've got a note on the guy that his first check raise was 4-4 on 3-3-4. So that just is concreting my evidence right there. I don't like this situation. I flopped the second nuts. Now I have like the second nut still, I guess. But he either has. I don't think he's ever raising here with nothing. So he has the same hand as us, or he has 8-10. So against both of those hands, we're not in good shape, right? Well, we're splitting against one, but there's still 1 card left to come, and we're losing against the other one. He's just not check raising enough for us to worry about that ever. Like, we can fold the second nuts to him, it's fine. People get they don't adjust to opponents enough, they just play with the same range against all the different people, right? Against this guy, he's check raising so infrequently that even if we fold the second nuts every time that he check raises us, right, we'll still be making money off him because I'm going to value bet the river. I think he can have a flush sometimes, but we are at the bottom of our range. We have king high, so if he doesn't have a flush, I think it's folding, right? Yeah, so I fold the second nuts every time. I'm still printing money against him when he check raises us because he's doing it so infrequently, right? Although in this session he's been doing it a little bit more than his average, but it's still not enough to worry about it. So yeah, if the only way he can beat us is by winning pots that should be split and then flopping full houses and 4-bet pots, then, you know, it's easy to see how we're going to be making money. I'm going to go for a small bet here. Queen 4. Get called by 3 of a kind 7s. That's okay. We only lost 1/3 of a pot size bet. This is a super premium. Come on, man. Free bet us, man. It's all about increasing your river betting range and frequency. It's the same thing, but it's all about increasing the bet. The amount of times you bet on the river, basically. Because people do have too much of a narrow range, you know. I'm not going to 4-bet this hand because I don't really want to get 5-bet. So I'm just going for a nice flat call. Especially because he's just letting us have a lot of hands when he... We have a 5 blocker, right? It's a very strange maneuver by him. Let's just see a turn card, right? Yeah, I'm gonna bet bluff river. I know if it 10-4 makes sense, to be honest. Maybe not the best bluff. Yeah, it's not the best bluff at all. But I honestly didn't like the turn. I honestly didn't like the turn. I just wanted to fold the turn, but I just honestly I felt ashamed because it's like double suited kings, right? But I just wanted to fold the turn when I had 20% equity. Yeah, bad turn card. We give up. Give up, give up. Well, I could have gone for a small bet, just because it's so easy for me to have a straight. Then again, it's so easy for him to have a straight, but that's why I want to bet small. Even when I have the nuts there, you bet small. Let's go for a lead out here. See how he's reacting. He's raising me again, right? Versus donk bet. He's actually raising a lot of my donk bets, right? So we're just calling here. We're going to lead the turn with top pair and a 6 blocker, right? I don't actually love the river. I don't love the river. We do have a straight. Do I think he's going to bluff? No. So I can just check fold here. He's not value betting like a jack high straight or a queen high straight, right? We can just check fold here. Yeah. He's just we've got snap check on. He's got snap check on. And what did he have? He had a set of 10s, right? So he's never bluffing with that hand. But so yeah, I kept him honest there. I called. I bet flop and he raised me, right? I just thought, his frequency's increasing a little bit of the amount of times I've donked and he's raised me like 30% of the time, right? So I just called and seeing what he's doing. What are you doing, man? Are you adapting? Are you changing? You know? No, he just had the nuts, guys. Pocket 10s. Pocket 10s, right? So there's no need to complicate it, man. No need to complicate it. Just go back to my ABC style of just exploiting him. Taking the small pots off him. Especially in 3-bet pots. Betting small, nicking all the small pots, you know, folding to his raises. It's printing money, you can see. Why am I playing 20 PLO? What am I doing down here? What is this? Let's donk flop with a gut shot. Yeah. I was going to say, we haven't flopped a set in a while. Let's bet 1/3 pot. Make it awkward for us. Make it awkward for him to play against. We're going to bet less than 2/3 pot here. Keep his range wide open. Yeah. Alright, bear with me 1 minute. I'm just going to do a workout soon, so I'm just drinking my pre-workout formula. Mate, this shit is good, man. C4 or no explode. I know it's bad for you because it like increases your heart rate and all shit like that, but it fucking gives you the extra oomph you need, man. I recommend it. C4 or no explode. I think the C4 one's better because it's not as intense. Makes your face tingle though. It's a bit strange. Let's bluff. Pocket 6s, you know. Folding too much, bro. Folding too much. Ooh, second pair and a wrap. Go for a bet small. Turn the nuts. Go for a bet less than 2/3 pot. I could actually bet bigger here because there's 2 flush draws on the board. So on that specific situation, I could bet bigger, but he still folds anyway. Folding too much. Folding too much, buddy. I'm gonna bluff a turn because I have 4 cards, you know. See, he's just not betting often enough, right? His only bet size has been pot, and his range is just strong, you know. His range is just strong. I wouldn't be surprised if he were already beaten on the flop when we had top pair. Yep, there you go. King Jack, top 2 pair with, you know, all kinds of backdoor draws. That's what I mean. I honestly want to fold, right? But I'm just proving a point to you guys. They're so unbalanced. His only bet is pot size, and however, we are not folding here. We are in position. What do we have? Bottom pair, open ender, nut flush draw. Right. Do we get it in? Let's go for a small raise. We're doing it small size raisings, seeing how he reacts. Right, he never has top set, so now we can put the pressure on him. Makes it a lot harder for him if he has like 4-5. This is not a good run out for us. He very likely has. Doesn't have a set, obviously. We block all the flush draws. Very likely has 6, 7, 8 here. And we have bottom 2 pair. But that's a good bet on the turn by us. Because he never has a set. And if the river just comes a king, like we win. Oh, he only turned the straights. Turned the nuts. Super passive, man. Super passive. Ah, we're going with it, man. We got 2 pair and a bloody 2 flush draws and, you know, all kinds of things, man. Obviously, he has 10 jack. We know that on the turn, right? He only raises the nuts, so in that situation he had 10 jack with a diamond, so we're actually in bad shape. We're still 33%. But when he doesn't have diamonds, we have to get it in, right? So you can win with a queen, a 9, a diamond, or a spade. So we have to get it in. But going back to that hand that we had, yeah, the middle pair. Open ender and the flush draw, right? Thing is, when he check raises anyway, it's I think this guy's tilting now. I want to min raise him on the flop, but there's just no need. But when we go for a min raise, it forces him to. We get more information from him because obviously he's raising his 9-5s, his sets, all his sets. So he's raising all his like top 2 pair and sets, right? I don't think he's the kind of guy that would even just raise a draw there. So we're obviously knowing he's on a draw when we are raising the turn, raising the flop. So if the board bricks out, we can just win with bottom pair, which is great for us. Backdoor flush draws, man. Love backdoor flush draws. I don't think we're getting many folds on this card, but let's go for a bluff on the river, man. Really? that's so full of shit. That's so full of shit, bro. I wish we had more money behind because I just want to raise him back. I mean, he could have ace-4, 4-6, right? I'm sure he would just bet the river if he had that. I think he's just tilting, to be honest, after losing that hand. Certainly unfortunate for him, but you know, he did win the hand earlier on where it was likely going to be split pot. That's the highs and lows of Omaha, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a prime example where, you know, if he might tilt now, he never has something called tilt breaker. I have tilt breaker. Let's just go for a min raise. We're min raising all our strong hands here and like never folding, right? If he doesn't have tilt breaker, he might lose another 5 buy-ins, right? Whereas I'm not really going to tilt because I've got tilt breaker. Unfortunately, you can't win that hand. Just got to fade a heart. Cannot do that. Okay, it's going for a raise. Well, I'm going to finish this drink and wrap up the video. The guy's mega tilted, so I'll probably keep playing him here. Keep the pressure on with the I don't like this, man. I don't like this. Set of kings is quite likely. I mean, it's super exploitable if you're just folding all your chips, but it's not exploitable if your opponents aren't adjusting to you, right? Bet turn here and probably bluff the river. Yes, let me have too many pots. He's too kind, man. Too kind of man. Oh la la. Give that swashbuckler. That's tangy, that. But man, that shit's good. Blueberry flavour, best one. Blue Raz. Yeah, it does give you the extra oomph you need though, man, really. Helps you fucking lift those weights. What a turn card, guys. What a turn card. Because if he has 7-8, now he has a straight. If he has a 5, he still has the trips. Going for the bigger bet sizing, obviously, because if he has 3-4, he's just folding anyway, so I want a bit bigger there. Top pair, go for the call. Don't pop the turn, please. Thank you. Go for a small bet on the river, blocker. And you expect to be losing sometimes, right? When you make that bet, but it makes you tougher to play against. So that's why you're doing it, right? Puts him in a tricky situation if he just has, you know, Jack 9, for example. Or an under pair. I think I would actually prefer a check on that flop. Worst river card, yeah. Worst river card, the Jack of Clubs, pretty much. But yeah, he's not even stabbing the turn there, did you see? When I checked him on the turn, he's not even stabbing the turn with 2 pair, the 9 blockers and a flush draw. You see that? He's got 7-10 for a middle 2 pair. He's got the 9 blockers for the straight and he's got a flush draw. And he's not even betting that hand on the turn when it's checked to him. Just give up here. We do river the straight. Against his pot size river bet. It's so polarizing. So I mean, his river bet, he's rarely ever betting the river, right? And the fact that he's potting the river makes it even of a smaller range. So he's betting river with one hand, like the king high flush. I mean, you could argue that he's betting the river with just the king of diamonds. But come on, guys, have you ever seen this guy bluff? The hand before you see what hand he didn't bet a turn with. So it becomes obvious he just has the king high flush, right? And we just fold here. Yeah, obviously has set of kings, king 10 and a flush draw, etc, etc. So it's going back to free betting, huh? Free bet all you want, buddy. All you want. Feel free. Alright, I think I want to wrap the video up. It's been quite a good one. It's been over an hour, so seems like a reasonable chunk of time. I'll play my button. I'm on my last hand here, guys. So this has been the PLO guide. Bet sizing, I believe, is the name of the game. Really, bruh? Nah, there's just no need, right? I can't call there because it's just so weak, but I just wanted to fold. I'm trying to play my button, but I keep missing out on the button. We're going to bet 1/3 pot, but we could just check here. I don't love this. Don't love this race. Could just fold. We have top pair. It's kind of hard to fold. Or I have top pair and an over pair. It's kind of hard to fold, but yeah, we could just fold there, guys. He's only raising strong hands, even against small bet size. But I hate to seem weak on the video, but it is fine just to fold against the dude who's just ABC net. But yeah, that's it, guys. Anyway. That's the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.